So I'm starting to have more and more faith in Maxime Bernier pretty much every day, especially considering the stuff that he is tweeting. He is saying the stuff that the conservatives in Canada do not have the balls to say. He's an actual opposition leader, and he's actually talking about things that need to be talked about that probably would be deemed racist, and which Andrew Scheer and the conservatives know. So they're like, okay, we're going to stay away from this topic. We need to move further left to appeal to Canadians of the new age, because Canadians were moving further left. So we need to keep moving in that direction. That is how the Conservative Party thinks, whereas Maxime Bernier has principles, and he is going to stand on his principles regardless of where the fucking wind is blowing. That is what you need. You need leaders to tell people what is straight. You don't need leaders to piddle paddle around and try not to offend people. You need somebody to say, no, this is a problem, this is what it's doing, and we need to stop doing this because it's hurting Canadians. But he addresses Trudeau in this tweet storm, and how he wants to, go and funnel even more billions of dollars into the UN so he can have a seat on the Security Council. Which is, why do you even want to be a part of the UN? First of all, like, Saudi Arabia is at the head of their like Human Rights Council. It's like, are you fucking kidding me? The UN is a joke. Trump is correct when he says the UN is bullshit, and so is Maxime Bernier. We need leaders like this to call them out instead of pussies like Andrew Scheer, right? He is a fucking pussy. We do not need him running our country. He's going to be just less left than Trudeau. And we don't need somebody who is less left. We need somebody who is actually a conservative. Because if we vote for Andrew Scheer with the way he is and the way the Conservative Party is, our country is just going to continuously move to the left, and we cannot have that. But sorry, I'm still a little sick from before. I'm a little stuffy too, if you can't tell. But he addresses it on his tweet storm. He's like, so Trudeau is preparing to waste more billions to have his seat at the UN and please international elites, which is exactly what Trudeau does. He doesn't care about Canadians. He cares about having a good image on the international stage and being remembered as a really nice guy or something, and having books written about him. He doesn't give two shits about Canada and how it's going to look and how he's going to destroy the country in the future. But what I propose is a foreign policy that focuses on the security and prosperity of Canadians. Finally somebody speaking out for us, instead of the rest of the fucking world. But not pleasing the dysfunctional United Nations and spending taxpayer money abroad. Every year we spend $5 billion on programs to help other countries. $5 billion. That's not peanuts, right? Trudeau is able to tell veterans, we don't have enough money for you. We're going to fight you in court. But we still have $5 billion to give all over the world, to Palestine, to all these other fucking countries. And for what? Right? For nothing. We get nothing out of it. And then to help other countries. But the case for foreign aid is extremely weak. Countries that are growing out of poverty do so because they got rid of socialist policies and adopted free markets, liberalized trade and private property rights, which is 100% correct. Look at China, right? They had their economic boom, same with India, when they started actually introducing more capitalism, more rights, more freedoms. Now granted, China is still a long ways away, but just that slight introduction of capitalism helped their economy flourish and is now like the second strongest in the fucking world. So clearly he is 100% correct, and China didn't flourish because we gave them a bunch of money. Nobody was giving them money. They had to kind of figure this shit out on their own, which a lot of people do. People don't learn unless they actually have a consequence to one of their actions, and then they know, okay, I'm not going to do that again, right? And this is why socialism is so bad, because it's like, it takes away the consequences of your bad actions. So what are you to do when you subsidize bad behavior? You just get more bad behavior, right? It's like having a hot element and you put your hand on the stove and the hot element and it doesn't burn, so you just keep doing it, or it gets healed right away. I don't know, but in reality, in the free market, if you put your hand on a hot stove, you burn your hand, you don't do it again. But with socialism, it removes all of those incentives and natural things, so then people don't know what they're doing is destructive and will eventually lead to destruction. But blah blah blah. Then he goes, countries that remain poor are those where governments are still crushing private initiative. Until they liberalize their economy and free their citizens, no amount of aid will make a difference. On the contrary, it creates a cycle of dependency and helps these governments stay in power, which is true, because think about these dictatorships and these countries in like Africa, which are run by like, you know, horrible fucking leaders, but they are dependent upon foreign aid. Do you think those leaders will ever treat their people well and good if they're not being paid by them? No, they're gonna listen to America, to Canada, to whomever is giving them money. Okay, they're gonna listen to them above their own citizens. So this is why citizens need to be a part of their own government, and the government needs to get money from them as opposed to other people all over the world, because then those governments will start to listen to their people instead, and will actually start to make changes and to make everybody's life better. And it's not, the government won't do that, you know, it's just pretty much the government getting out of people's lives. And this is what he's saying, like liberalizing things, giving people freedoms, property rights, you know, making things free. Like that is what will make these countries prosper. But throwing money at the issue will never fix anything. It has never worked for anything. Okay, like you can look at it in your own life. Okay, so think of some kid that was spoiled his whole fucking life, had everything given to him, and then you just, I don't know, kick him out at 18 and see how he handles it. See what happens. You know, they're gonna be like, fuck, they're not gonna know what to do. It's because you didn't teach them dependence or independence. You just taught them to be dependent upon you. So this is the same thing with countries and foreign aid. You know, we got to think, when we think on a macro level, it does still a lot of the time apply on a micro level, right? Like the way we distribute wealth and all this stuff works the same way in our own life that it does on a large scale a lot of the times. Like, you know, my brother, my oldest brother, right? He's in and out of prison. He's a fuck up, never had a job, or had a job for like a week, quits, but my whole family supports him, or he keeps going to different place till he wears out his welcome, and then the government comes in, gives him welfare, right? And he does nothing. He just continues with his behavior, with his destructive behavior, right? And this is the same way, like I said, with foreign aid. We're subsidizing negative behavior by keep giving them money. It's not because we're mean and we're racist. We don't want to give brown people money because we're just evil. You know, that's what a lot of people think of libertarians. They're like, they're just selfish. It's like, no, we're not selfish. We just understand how to help people. You're just a fucking idiot, and you think, oh, throw money. Oh, that's how you help people. It's like, you're stupid. You've never lived, you've been sheltered your whole life, so you don't understand ways to actually get people out of the rut that they're in. You know, you got to teach a man to fish so he fishes for the rest of his life instead of just giving him fish. You know, this is this age-old quote or phrase. Well, I don't know why people keep forgetting it. Like, it's very simple. And same with the whole, like, you know, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. I wish people really still remembered that. You know, I'm sure they learned it as a kid, but now they're like, no, we need to censor everybody, and we need to, you know, hate speech laws and all this shit. It's like, man, it's just words. Just brush it off. But he goes on, he's like, we should use that money to cut taxes to help Canadians in need and phase out this foreign aid for which there is no moral or economic efficiency argument, and focus on core humanitarian efforts during emergencies such as health crises, major conflicts, and natural disasters. So yeah, if we are going to give money and help people when there's like a landslide in India that kills like 100,000 people, yeah, let's help them. Let's give them some money. Let's get some aid boats over there, because people in need are people in need, and like a natural disaster like that, yeah, let's help them out. But when it's just a poor country And, you know, there's a corruption in their government. Us just taking them into our countries isn't going to help their countries. It's not going to really help them. It's going to help maybe a few of them. Yeah, their life is a lot better, but their country is never going to get better. We're taking all of their smart people with the brain drain, pretty much. So then they're left with just a lot of the idiots and crazy fucking governments that are dictators and shit, and we're just subsidizing it. So if we really want to help people, we will stop with this fucking constant wealth distribution, and we will stop bringing in refugees, because guess what? There's like 60 million, 70 million refugees. There is no way we can bring in enough to actually alleviate the problem, because every year, every day, they're having more kids in these refugee camps, more than we will be able to take in. So if we have to solve the problems over there, because we don't have enough room in Canada. I know people, oh, Canada's huge and we got lots of room. No, a lot of it is frozen fucking tundra. It's really cold, and yes, there's plenty of geographical location. I mean, like, it's a large geography, but that doesn't mean we have all the resources available at hand to sustain all of these people. Because I know a bunch of idiots, they're like, oh, it's bullshit that the world is overpopulated and all this stuff. It's like, yeah, the world could contain more people, right? Definitely. But it's all about what is available at the time, you know, what infrastructure is created and available. If, like, look at Canada right now, we're bringing all these refugees into Toronto, into Quebec, into Manitoba, and they're filling up our hospitals, our fucking, shelters and all this shit. And now we're putting them in hotels and all this crap because we don't have the infrastructure, you fucking idiots. Like, these things take time to build, okay? So, you know, good on Maxime Bernier for calling this shit out. Andrew Scheer wouldn't, because he's a fucking pussy, just like everybody else that is pretty much on that side now, because a lot of them had the chance to move over to Maxime Bernier, to a lot of these MPs, but none of them did. So that shows you that none of them have balls. They're all cowards. They're all fucking cowards, because people are all vote splitting. No, the only people vote splitting are the Conservative Party right now, because if you were truly conservative, you would be for Maxime Bernier, but clearly you're not. So you're the only one vote splitting. You know, you're the one moving further left. And I even saw like a strategist like this on one guy's channel, I think OntPoli. I'll try to recommend it at the end of the video if I can find it. But there was the CPC strategist, and he's like, no, we need to move further left to appeal to people. We can't go with Maxime Bernier. So right then and there, you know, it's like the Conservative Party is done. They are finished, okay? There is no recovery for them. It's going to be Maxime Bernier's party from now on. Like, that is going to be the new right. Maybe they will come around one day. I don't know, but the way it's looking right now, I don't trust them. And even if they do change their tune, it's too late. You took your fucking time. You took your sweet ass time. Because people, they just want power. They want to keep their seat in Parliament. They don't want to say anything that might ruffle a few feathers, that might get the media attacking them, calling them racist. You know, it's like, it's ballless pieces of shit like this is the reason Canada is in the situation we are in now. You know, Stephen Harper wasn't much better. You know, he didn't reduce immigration. He didn't do anything like that. He didn't stop a lot of these refugees and shit. Like, yes, the border, but that was different because, you know, right now the reason they came in is because, yes, Trump was going to deport them, and then Trudeau released a tweet saying, oh, come on over to us, right? But Stephen Harper and all this shit still made it very easy for refugees and shit to get citizens, very easy for foreign workers to come over here and take jobs and shit. So it's like both of these parties were selling us down the fucking river, and one of them was just going to do it slower than the other one. So, you know, there's no point. You cannot vote for Andrew Scheer because you're just voting for more leftism, and that's where your country is going to go towards. So, you know what? Only you can only vote for Maxime Bernier. Like you really like that is your only option. If you call yourself a conservative, libertarian, right wing, there is no other option for you, because otherwise, if you don't, you're not. You just use that terminology. You don't really know what it means. Maybe your parents were conservative, so then you're like, I'm a conservative too. Like, it's like, you got to actually understand what your beliefs are and actually stand behind them, because otherwise you're just a coward, and we don't need fucking cowards in this movement, right? We don't need them. We don't need them in Canada. We need people with balls to wake people up, to spread the message, right? We don't need, oh, well, I don't want to offend this group. Oh, I don't want to offend this group. It's like, get the fuck out of here, okay? You're useless at this point. But good on Maxime Bernier. And I also wanted to congratulate Kelly Day for having her video retweeted by Maxime. It's gotten close to 3,000 views already. So hopefully that increases her sub count by a huge amount. And, this is why I think it is good to encourage other content creators and to promote other people in your descriptions or whatnot, right? Because like Maxime Bernier retweeted that. He just introduced a lot of new people to Kelly Day, people that maybe never heard of any of these other people on YouTube, but now through her description, she can go to, Old White Guy Rants, Derek, Joe, Haze, a bunch of other channels I'm forgetting at the moment, but, so then they can be introduced to all these different people, right? And she has the talent of singing, right? So that is going to attract different people. And then, it's just cyclical. So this is great. Like I said, great job, Kelly. That song was actually very good too. I've listened to it a couple times already, and I swear to God, I had it in my head all day today. It's like, Maxime, I don't remember the rest of the words, but yeah, like, keep at it. Keep doing what you're doing, guys. You are hitting a chord, and you will make a difference. You will make a difference. But that's all I pretty much had to say. If you like my content, subscribe and have a good day. See ya.